Hello and welcome to the PvA Nightly Rundown. I'm your host Luke Croft, and this is the nightly gaming news show where I run you through all of the gaming news that you may have missed so that you don't look like a fucking idiot at the water cooler tomorrow. Oh, it is good to be back, guys. I apologize. Monday was a real bummy show. It was very much a drag, and we're going to have to get back into those murky waters for just a moment with the rundown tonight, but for the most part, we're talking about video games, which is really cool. It's nice to get back to talking about video games. And then Tuesday, I had to work late and was not able to record an episode because I didn't have time to get the show notes together. I was like, from the time I woke up until like 7:30 at night, I was just nose to the grindstone at my job, and so didn't have a ton of chances to get anything really knocked out for the show. And then last night, great episode of PvA Radio, guys. If you watch this show and you don't listen to PvA Radio, I definitely encourage you, go back and listen to yesterday's episode. And if you get a chance, even the week before, I feel like the conversations we've been having over the last 2 weeks have just been very, very, very chef's kiss good. Yesterday we talked about the ESA with the loot boxes, with Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo announcing that they were going to be doing making publishers disclose their drop rates for their loot boxes. We talked about the ESA leak of 2,000 content creators' personal information, and we talked about the positive impact of video games. So really great episode, really great discussion. You can check that out. It's on podcast services everywhere. Just search PvA Radio or on youtube.com/PvA Radio. We got it broken out topic by topic. It's just good. It's good stuff. I tweeted it out earlier today, and I'm just going to say it here. Cody and Larry make that show so fun to produce and to do. Like, they show up, they're smart, they've read their shit, they've given it a lot of great thought, and I am lucky to have guys like that in my life who are willing to give as much as they do to make that show possible. So definitely go give it a listen. It is definitely worth your time. I know I'm biased, but just try one episode. Yesterday's episode was scuffed too. We had to cut in the middle and then pick it back up because Discord was being stupid. And then, but yeah, once we got going, man, it was sweet stuff. Stick around after the show tonight. Probably going to be playing some League of Legends. A League of Legends. It's Friday Eve also, guys, so just let that sink in for a moment. LEC coming back tomorrow for the weekend. We got LCS playoffs starting. Good stuff, guys. Just really great stuff. So yeah, this is the PvA Nightly Rundown. I'm going to run you through all the gaming news that you may have missed. We do this every single night other than Wednesdays, every single weeknight other than Wednesdays over here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/PvA Radio. If you can't catch it live, you can find it on youtube.com/PvA Radio. Also, we break it out topic by topic over there so that if you don't care about all of the news and just a particular story or two, you can just watch. They're normally no more than 10 minutes long, the little broken out sections. So you got plenty of time. I'll read you the story. I'll tell you my thoughts. Get your mind cranking through, thinking. Get it all greased up, ready to go. So, yeah. That's what this show is. And we appreciate you tuning in wherever you're watching us. Make sure you follow, subscribe, leave a comment. But let's get this show started like we get every show started with the games that released today. We take this straight over from Kotaku. Zach Zwizen's The Weekend Games. He does a wonderful job putting it together. And why should I do work when somebody else has done it for me? First game releasing today. We had Fatal 12 on PS4. Subdivision Infinity DX on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. We had Pix the Cat on Switch. Pillars of Eternity, PoE, finally getting that Switch release. Steel Circus on PC. Sudoku Universe, that's right, baby, Sudoku. I've done maybe 4 Sudoku puzzles in my entire life. My sisters loved them growing up. I have 3 sisters. All of them love the Sudoku puzzles. I never got into them. Word Sweeper by Paugi on Switch. The Priaplex on Switch. Doling's Invasion on Switch. Oedo Towns on Switch. Color Slayer on PC. Moira Fate Twins on PC. And Wonder Blade on PC. Those are all of your games that are releasing today. I need to move this Stream Deck. I moved it and it's just way out of reach. I'm having to awkwardly reach across my keyboard. Let's see. Let's look up this Moira Fated Twins, because when I see Moira, I always think, obviously, Overwatch. I've got my tiny Moira back here. Little tiny Moira, my pop figure. I'm just going to lay it down. That thing doesn't like standing up on its own. I don't know why I moved it. All right, so Moira Fated Twins. All right, not popping up in autofill. Guys, does this not have a trailer? Moira Fated Twins. Guys, I don't see a trailer for this game. Let's go to Steam, see if we can find one over there. Store. All right, Moira Fated Twins. It's got like the Capitol building on the front here. All right, we're not going to watch all this, obviously, but I'm always nervous with like, oh, okay, we're good. So it's top-down RPG. It's not translated? Alright, do we get into some action here? Not really. I'm guessing this is like a story trailer of some kind, and we're just not meant to understand it. Alright, so there's Moira Fated Twins. Cool soundtrack. Outside of that, I have no clue what's going on. Oh, English language not supported. This product does not support does not have support for your local language. Please review the supported language list below before purchasing. If you wish to see games in other languages, you can switch your preferences. All right, so it is not available in English, but it releases today. All right, so those are all of your games that are releasing today, guys. Let's jump into the news. First story on the list. Get this pulled up over here. The story's from Vice Gaming. Walmart removes violent video game signage and is still selling guns. This is from Nicole Carpenter over at Vice.com. It says Walmart stores are reportedly removing, quote, signing and displays referencing violence, end quote, including signage and playable demos for video games following recent shootings at 2 of its stores. On July 30th, a gunman shot 2 Walmart employees and injured a police officer at a Walmart in South Haven, Mississippi. The following Saturday, on August 3rd, a 21-year-old man killed 22 people and wounded 24 others at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. Days after the shooting, President Trump blamed in part, quote, gruesome and grisly video games, end quote, as well as mental health issues for mass shootings in America, despite evidence that suggests otherwise. And if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that particular Trump quote, you can go back and watch Monday's episode of the PvA Nightly Rundown. We talked at length about that, so I'm not going to rehash much of that conversation except to say, I think it's a distraction. There's been countless studies that have proven there is no link between violent video games and violence. And I'll leave it there. You can go listen to my 20-minute rant on it on Monday's episode. Back to the article. It says, this week, Walmart sent employees a notice entitled, quote, immediate action removes signing and displays referencing violence, end quote. Freelance writer Kenneth Shepard posted an image of the notice on Twitter, and other copies have circulated on Reddit. Quote, review your store for any signing or displays that contain violent images or aggressive behavior, end quote. The notice reads, quote, remove from the sales floor or turn off these items immediately, end quote. It's unclear how widely the notice was circulated. The notice instructs workers developers to remove demos of violent games, specifically PlayStation or Xbox units, events for combat style or third-person shooter games scheduled in the electronics department, movies depicting violence, and hunting season videos playing in the sports goods section. It also noted that merchandisers from Anderson Merchandisers, a service provider for Walmart, will send out representatives to update display consoles and demo units, quote, within the next few weeks. So, yeah, you can go and read the rest of this article over at Vice. Really good reporting being done over there. I'm interested to see what all this includes, right? Because you go into a video game section, and it's not just the marketing posters that you have. It's not just the games that you can play on the demo units, but it's also, you know, are they having to turn around or blockade off box art that has violent imagery on it? Are they having to turn it like you see it like in the adult section of like an old FYE back in the day, where they had like the sleeves over it for the DVDs that may have and Blu-rays that may have box art of that depicts violence? Like, I don't know. I get from a PR perspective that following the heinous incidents that happened over the weekend, that Walmart as a corporation feels the need to respond with something to try to distance themselves from something in order to make it seem like they're sensitive to this issue. And look, I'm not saying that the people that are making these decisions aren't sensitive to these issues, but it seems like a move being made because they feel like a move has to be made, but it feels like the wrong move that's being made because you know, the article goes on to read the very last paragraph. It says, notably, the company's memo does not mention the removal of actual guns for sale from Walmart stores, despite pleas from gun control activists and employees. Walmart said this week that there's, quote, been no change in its gun policy, end quote, according to USA Today. And that's the problem with the entire conversation. We bypass the obvious thing to have a discussion about and move to the thing that is further down the line and much less likely to actually be the factor. And you may argue, well, the box art and the demo units and all that sort of stuff, it glorifies violence and it's showing guns being used against other human beings and in a violent fashion, whereas selling a gun, you know, can have any kind of use. You know, maybe it's for hunting, maybe it's you know, you shoot as a hobby or something like that. But the point is that it has not been the violent video games that have caused these things. It is the access to guns that causes these heinous acts to occur. And it seems tone deaf to try to address the one thing when there's just a much more obvious thing pointing at you. It's like if I was on fire and I had a headache at the same time and I was popping Advil rather than extinguishing the flames that were engulfing me. It just doesn't make any sense to me why we start here and not in the more obvious place. I don't want to dwell too much here because it's just going to bum me out again. And I said plenty on Monday about my thoughts on all of this, but I think shame on Walmart for making a move because they felt like they had to make a move and ignoring the actual move that needs to be made. If your concern is stopping these kinds of acts, then you, as one of the biggest retailers in the country, can say, we're not going to sell guns at our place anymore and take a stand there. But removing signage for video games temporarily, mind you, this is not going to be a permanent thing. Removing this stuff temporarily and then turning back around in 3 months or 2 months or a month when we're on to whatever the next tragedy is, as awful as that is to say, that's how this country works. We do the bare minimum to skirt by until the next thing can come along to distract us. And that's what this feels like. I'm just sick of it. All right. moving on. Next story on the list. This is a really wild one, guys. Take-Two sent private investigators to a YouTuber's house over some leaks. This is from Sharif Syed over at VG247. It reads, Borderlands publisher 2K Games has confirmed that it sent private investigators to the home of YouTuber Supermato as part of an investigation into Borderlands 3 leaks. Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Borderlands 3 publisher 2K Games, has shed some light on its side of a story that caused the hashtag boycott Borderlands 3 to trend on Twitter. The hashtag was created in response to a YouTube video by Borderlands YouTuber and streamer Supermato. The creator previously leaked a number of details about Borderlands 3, so much so it caused Take-Two to investigate him. In the video, Supermato says he was approached by two private investigators who arrived at his home unannounced to ask about the Borderlands 3 leaks he'd been posting. The YouTuber explained that he didn't get the unannounced information in any malicious way, but Take-Two believes differently. And I am going to read, this entire article because it is filled with information that I think is pertinent, and it's filled with quotes from people that I think are important for us to hear. So it continues. One particular incident both parties referenced is the discovery of a Twitch extension, which is accidentally shown off ahead of time thanks to an unlisted video on the official YouTube channel. Said video also included screen names of testers. Quote, "This wasn't found by me. It was also posted on various platforms like Reddit and other social medias. That's how it was brought to my attention. So quite a few of us decided to follow these accounts because, well, simply put, we could," end quote, said Supermato. I think I said Supermato at one point. It's Supermato or Supmato. Apologies, guys. Phone's blowing up over here. Take-Two, however, says some of the information Supmato shared with their audience was obtained through a Twitch exploit that allowed them to access private test streams, which they used as a source. Quote, "The information he's sharing about the situation is incomplete and in some cases untrue," end quote, said 2K. Quote, "Not only were many of his actions illegal, but they were negatively impacting the experiences of other content creators and our fans in anticipation for the game," end quote. "Many of these videos have now been deleted." Quote, "Take-Two and 2K take the security and confidentiality of trade secrets very seriously. The action we've taken is the result of a 10-month investigation and a history of this creator profiting from breaking our policies, leaking confidential information about our product, and infringing on our copyrights," end quote. It added, quote, "We will take the necessary actions to defend against leaks and infringement of our intellectual property that not only potentially impact our business and partners, but more importantly, may negatively impact the experiences of our fans and customers," end quote. Interestingly, Twitch and Discord were both also investigating Supmato. Discord actually deleted the YouTuber's private server for, quote, "selling, promoting, or distributing cheats, hacks, or cracked accounts," end quote. According to IGN, Supmato shared more leaks through the server for a $5 subscription to his channel. For now, Supmato is taking a break from making videos, saying he doesn't know if he will be returning for Borderlands 3 release in September. Guys, that was a long read. It's a lot to parse through, and it's a lot of he said, she said kind of things. And so I just want to maybe take this a little bit by bit here. When I first read the story, I'm going to just kind of walk you through my thinking and kind of talk out loud through my thinking. When I first saw this, I was like, sending private investigators to a YouTuber's house to investigate some leaks, like, it seems like an overreaction, Take-Two. It seems like an overreaction. But I started thinking about it a little more, and I don't think it was a shakedown. In fact, in the Kotaku article, it talks about how Supmato didn't even know, and I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, that he didn't even know that they were private investigators hired by Take-Two until they left his house and he found them on LinkedIn and made the connection that they were probably sent by Take-Two to ask him these kinds of questions. And so I don't think it was like an intimidation kind of thing. I think it was really just this guy seems to know a lot about what we're going to be announcing, and we want to figure out how. And if he has some sort of backdoor way in which he is able to obtain this information, we need to know about that. Probably more importantly and more likely is, does he have somebody that's on the inside that's feeding information to him that he is then giving to the public, and then there's a whole nother layer to it, right? With the Discord idea of if he is selling subscriptions where he is giving out more and more of this leaked information for profit for himself, that becomes a whole thing. Like, and we've talked about this a lot about when we talk about companies protecting their IP. Beal for real in the chat says this is wild. It really is wild, dude. It's insane. We talk a lot about companies taking action to protect their IP, and a lot of people look at those stories and they say, you know, when you see a company who's like suing a creator for using their artwork or their logos or whatever, and we look at those stories and we're like, money grubbing corporate animals, like, they fucking suck. Like, how dare they go after the little guy? But if I understand correctly, if you just allow your IP to kind of get trampled on by everybody and used for their own gain and their own profit, then there's an argument to be made against you that you no longer own that IP because so many other people have been utilizing it without action being taken. And so in an event like this, where like there's always kind of that out with YouTubers, right? It's a fine line that you walk, and with Twitch even, and we've seen this with like Nintendo, right? These publishers and creators have the right to go after any channel that is using their game to make YouTube videos or stream on Twitch. I do not own the right to League of Legends when I stream League of Legends. I don't own the rights to Overwatch when I'm streaming Overwatch, but it's a give and take. Overwatch, Blizzard understands that they gain so much from allowing people to stream their stuff. And, you know, Riot Games gets so much coverage and free coverage by allowing people to stream their games. And Nintendo is starting to learn that as well. But when you take that relationship and begin to exploit it in the ways that are alleged in this article, where he seems to be getting information in some nefarious ways. He is gating some of this information that he's possibly gained in nefarious ways behind a subscription. Like, at that point, you have to ask yourself, is the relationship that we have with this YouTuber beneficial to us as a company, or is it not? Are we giving more than we're taking? And so I'm saying this in summary. I understand Take-Two's approach with this. If they've really taken 10 months to look into this and they do feel like there's something more to his leaks than just, oh, he found like some unlisted YouTube videos, and they think he possibly has somebody on the inside, or they think that he is possibly hacking into getting into information in some sort of backdoor way, then I get that. What I struggle with, and I'm sorry, I think I'm dropping some frames here. What I struggle with is this idea of like, gaming has such corporate secrecy within it, and leaking down into, and I'm going to be very careful how I say this, leaking down into the ways that their relationships with the media exists. In a lot of ways, I think the media can function as just another arm of their PR. They're kind of like hype wagon, building the hype for games. Like, a publisher releases information slowly, and then the media outlets pick those things up and they build the hype over time with it. And so I struggle with this idea of like, if somebody is leaking information that we would have known about anyway, like, we're going to go after them because they're really impacting the way that our fans are experiencing our rollout model that we had put into place. Like, I struggle with that side of things because I'm like, let's not take ourselves too seriously. But then on the other side, I realize how much money is wrapped up in these things, and that while yes, it is just a video game to some, it is big business to others, and you have a plan. I work in marketing. I understand you have a plan put in place. This is the rollout of that plan. We don't want to deviate from that plan. But yeah, to say that this is like, I think the thing I take issue with this story in particular with Take-Two's approach is just to say that they're doing it because they really care about the way the fans are experiencing this news. because it's bullshit. What they really care about is that they are not in control of their message, and that's okay to be not okay with. That's okay to take issue with that, but to play it off as if you're like, man, we really want to make sure our fans are getting the experience that we mapped out for them, like, and putting it on like we care about the fans is just disingenuous to me. But it's a crazy story. It's a crazy story. Like, but you hear the word private investigator, and I think for all of us, we like think about guys in trench coats with their collars popped up in the hat, and they're like smoking a cigarette and putting the screws to a guy. When in reality, these guys just came by and asked them questions and were, what I read from the Kotaku article especially, fairly unassuming. But at the end of the day, if what Submotto has been accused of is true, Take-Two has every right to go after them in these ways. So it's a crazy story. I'm not sure where I fall on all of it, except to say that Take-Two has a responsibility to maintain their intellectual property and a responsibility. Yeah, LA Noire looking dudes. That's right. That's right. Take-Two has a responsibility to protect its IP, and they also have a responsibility to protect their marketing plan and their rollout plan. And how they've chosen to do that, I think, we can debate and talk about that. But the fact that Twitch and Discord were both investigating, and that Discord arrived at a conclusion to where they closed down his server, I don't imagine those two investigations were working in tandem with one another. Maybe they were. But if they both arrived at these conclusions independently, I think that the case against this YouTuber is even stronger. So, yeah, weird story, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments of this video, because like I said, I'm still kind of like sussing through everything. But I think that's where I stand now. Next item on the list. This is kind of a two for one. Speaking of Discord and Twitch, Discord is introducing a small audience streaming feature that is no longer available on Game Informer. Hold on. Can I find the story somewhere else? Scuff stream, guys. It's a 403 error. Discord small audience streaming. Did they like nuke all these stories from the web? All right, I'm actually, this is weird. Bill, for real, you're connected into the Twitch world. Did you see this story earlier where Twitch was going to allow you to stream to an audience of up to 10 for like, if you just want to share like your gameplay with a few friends? They were going to build into their platform some ability to stream your gameplay. And now this story does not exist anywhere. This was Discord. Sorry if I said Twitch. This was Discord. This was a story published by Game Informer earlier today that no longer exists, because the link is titled "Discord Gets Small Audience Streaming." Bill for Real says, I used to play games while in a call with my friend and just share screen. That was basically that. Yeah, so now I go to this article from Game Informer and I get a 403 access denied on that story. Stay tuned. We may have an update on that in the coming days. Maybe Game Informer. And apparently there was okay. I do remember a part of this. Sorry, I'm getting something out of my pocket here. I do remember a part of this today being kind of funny, because I went to the Game Informer the Game Informer article about it, and they were like, they also released this really like weird video about this, and when I went to go click the video, it was unavailable. Discord had taken it down. So I don't know if this was something that came out before it was supposed to, but I'm interested. I'd love to. I wish Cody was around, because I'd give Cody a call. Let me see if Cody's on Discord real quick. See if I can get him on location. He's not. Let's see. Luke, are you the leak boy now? Giving us it, dude. Discord about to send some fucking private investigators to my door, be knocking on my door. They're like, hello, sir. I heard you were talking about small audience streaming. Be a shame if something happened to your dog. All right, I'm pinging Cody real quick. We'll give him a couple seconds to respond. Because for me, in my opinion, Game Informer would be one of those sites that would just update the article. That would say, like, hey, this was, you know, the YouTube video was taken down. We've reached out to Discord for an update, and we'll update you when we hear back from them or something like that. Like, I don't see Game Informer being like a complete, like, let's nuke the article. That's strange. That's really, really strange. So I wish Cody was around. I may just give him a call. We'll see. We'll give him a second to respond. I'm going to move on to the second part of the story. Twitch is getting an all-in-one solution to streaming. This is from Gama Sutra, which I have not used an article from on this show before. Look at this layout, guys. Is this the fucking early 2000s? All right, it says this is from Alyssa Mikaloon. It says, it looks like the streaming platform Twitch is cutting out the middleman and releasing its own software for setting up and hosting streams. Twitch has announced a beta for Twitch Studio, a program that aims to roll all the different aspects of setting up a stream into one platform-specific application. Streaming platforms like Twitch can be a useful tool for developers looking to interact with their communities, and Twitch's new offering takes some of the friction out of those first steps towards live streaming. Twitch Studio looks to eliminate the need for programs like OBS and XSplit that handle the more technical side of setting up a stream on platforms like Twitch, and offers a handful of Twitch integrations on top of that. That being said, Twitch notes that it sees Twitch Studio as a more accessible way for new streamers to get set up, rather than something that will lure experienced streamers away from the programs they already use. Beyond just basic stream operations, Twitch notes that the program offers guided setup tutorials, a handful of stream layout templates, and a built-in feed for things like messages, alerts that pop up during a broadcast. More features are planned for the months that follow the beta's launch, like an in-game overlay and capture card support. So this Bill for Real in the chat says, I called this. I thought E3, but still, yeah, I think I remember you mentioning something like this on during our E3 prediction show. This is an interesting move, and it's strange for a couple reasons. First of all, it makes a hell of a lot of sense for Twitch to do this. Like, why would you not get in the game with this stuff? And it's like Streamlabs has really figured out how to monetize their streaming platform. Like, not their streaming platform, their streaming software. And so why would Twitch not take some cues from that? But what I don't get is this kind of like really featureless software that they're going to be launching here to start with. And I know it's in beta, and I know they plan to add more and more features as time goes on, but you are Twitch. You are the name of video game streaming. Like, why would you not work on and release the most tricked out software to get people to come back? And maybe the thinking is just like, oh, well, all these streamers already are using XSplit and OBS and Streamlabs with OBS. Like, why release something like this when in reality you could have just released something more robust and said, we have options for different levels of streamer. Like, if this is your first time streaming, we have a one button setup. It'll load in your stuff. It'll, you know, you can choose between overlays with a couple different customizable options, and you can go. It doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when you think about like how on console all of this shit's built in. If you're a console player and you want to get into streaming, but you don't want to start investing in learning how to use, you know, capture cards and use OBS or XSplit, anything like that, it's built into your console just to be able to press share and then go live. Bill for Real says, yeah, what do they hope to gain from it? No one wants to slim down OBS. yeah, and this whole idea of like, well, OBS handles the more technical side. OBS has, like its auto setup where you can go in. It's like a one button setup where you go in and it'll do your bit rate and all of your different encoding and things like that. I don't know of a single streamer, not a single streamer, that's been able to go into OBS, hit that one button setup, and just run with those settings based off of doing whatever they wanted to do. And if you are a streamer who's done that before, more power to you. I'd love to hear from you. But I've done the one button setup with OBS, and it's great. It gives you like, you're almost there, but you still have to go in and play with the bit rate, and you still have to go in and play with a couple different other different settings. Like, it isn't just a one-stop shop. So having those things built into the back end is really important. And they're super simple to use, especially with like the number of people who are into streaming who are just tech savvy enough to be able to know how to Google a problem. Like I was having a problem with Overwatch one time where like I'm getting terrible stutters both in game and in stream, but no other game was doing it for me. And it was like, well, you need to stream in borderless window with Overwatch if you're going to do display capture. And like, just in a simple Google search, found that problem. Like, if you remove more features from OBS for your slimmed down, more user friendly, what you end up creating is something a lot more frustrating to work with. Something where if it doesn't work in the way that it's supposed to out of the box, you don't have the options to go into the technical side and get it right. And look, I don't know if that's what they mean by saying like it's stripped down and doesn't have this stuff. But in my opinion, like for them trying to remove this friction, it would have to be like a one-stop shop, like press the button, you're good to go, nothing else to worry about. If that's the way they're going to be marketing it. And then you go against that when you're like, well, but we've also included all these really advanced settings that you can jump into. I think it makes sense for Twitch to be in this space. I just don't think it makes sense for Twitch to be in this space in this way. I used to use Streamlabs OBS. It is a CPU hog. I've moved just to regular OBS with, Streamlabs like web sources, and it runs so much better. But if you could give me something straight from Twitch that ran well, I would jump over to it in a heartbeat. I'm not loyal to OBS. It's free and it works well. If Twitch was to put something out like that and it was one less third party I had to worry about, Twitch understands their platform better than anybody, I'd be down for it. But this isn't the way. And Cody has not responded to my Discord message, so we're just gonna move on. He may be oot in a boot. So next item on the list. Call of Duty Modern Warfare may have a battle royale after all. We talked about this last week, this week. I don't know. The days run together. About how Call of Duty was not going to have a battle royale. Well, this is from Tanner Pierce over at DualShockers. It says, according to rumors, Infinity Ward is planning a battle royale mode for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and best of all, it might be free to play. If you were one of the people, it reads, if you were one of the people disappointed by the fact that Modern Warfare didn't seem to have a battle royale mode planned, then I have some good news for you. According to some rumors by a credible individual, Call of Duty Modern Warfare will indeed be getting a battle royale mode, just later down the line than most people expected. The rumor, which was revealed by YouTuber The Long Sensation, who previously leaked the title of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, indicates that while the mode will be connected to the main game, it will be available separate from the base package and will also be available free to download. We previously heard that Activision was looking into a free-to-play component with this title, so this kind of lines up perfectly with what we've heard. On top of that, Long Sensation says that the mode will be available in 2020 during the game's post-launch season. While this is a bit later than some people wanted, it certainly makes sense considering Infinity Ward just wants to focus on the three main modes of the game: campaign, multiplayer, and Spec Ops. Feel for Real says, more BRs as he snoozes away. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think that part of what has made Call of Duty successful in the past, And we're talking like original Modern Warfare, World at War, Black Ops. What made those things so successful was that they innovated in the multiplayer space. They were doing things at the time that no other real multiplayer shooters were doing. And they were able to get ahead because of it. When Call of Duty started to fall behind was when Call of Duty tried to model their multiplayer after all of these other fast-paced, run-around kind of games. When they started adopting a lot more of the kind of new shooter mindset, they started to be seen as copycats in the industry rather than innovators. And so I was excited about them moving away from BR and focusing on gunfight, which is not mentioned in this article. I guess it's rolled up in their multiplayer, but like you're gonna have the standard multiplayer and then you're gonna have gunfight. And I was just really excited about them leaning into gunfight because it's something new. It's something that's going to be super entertaining to watch. I'm hoping there's some sort of competitive scene around it that's streamed. I'm sure there will be, because the little bit they've showed, it's a blast. And I was excited about that. And I thought it would make more sense for them to take Blackout from Black Ops and make that free to play, because it wouldn't be seen as the latest and greatest. And because I think you do any part of Call of Duty Modern Warfare free to play, even if it's a couple months after, it's going to hurt the sales of Modern Warfare. So just make Blackout free. It's already built into the game that it has areas from multiple Call of Duty games into it. You can just start folding in other parts of the map from other maps from other Call of Duty games and just make that a living world, make that your free to play option, and really just hunker down on Modern Warfare. On your multiplayer, on your campaign, on Spec Ops. Like, I think if you're going to do Battle Royale right now, it has to be free to play. I don't think you can get away. Gone are the PUBG days of you can spend $30 on this thing and then play it. And I know PUBG still charges for it, but there are so many great free to play options in the Battle Royale space right now that it makes no sense to try to tie it to a $60 release, especially because you know most of the people that are going to be playing that mode are only going to be playing that mode. I would love to see the heat mapping for Call of Duty Call of Duty Black Ops 4, about how many people spent more than 5% of their time outside of Battle Royale. I'm sure the number is staggering how few people ventured outside of the Battle Royale for Black Ops 4 for any significant amount of time. And that game died. It died because there were better Battle Royales out. It had everything that makes Call of Duty really good in it. It had excellent gunplay. It had a great diversity of guns. I thought the map was really cool, but there were still just better battle royales to play. And so I wish Call of Duty would move on from this, not because I'm like, oh, fuck battle royales, but I just don't think it's their space. I think the space is occupied by people who are already doing it better. They had their chance to do it better, and they flopped. Not flopped, but they failed to capture a sustainable audience. But that's okay. Gunfight looks awesome. Let's just get gunfight. Let your team focus on creating cool multiplayer modes like that. Next item on the list. What time is it? It's 9:44. Larry just texted me. Let me see what he said. Okay. He sent a screenshot of something. Let's watch this No Man's Sky Beyond gameplay trailer together, boys and girls. This is from DualShockers as well, from David Gill. So they've got the big Beyond update that's coming out. It's going to add a bunch of multiplayer elements. It's going to add VR, all kinds of shit coming on August 14th in this free update. Let's watch this trailer together. Every bird procedural, fish procedural, ocean procedural, cloud, ruin, star, sun, galaxy, planet. I wanna like No Man's Sky. I enjoyed my little bit of time that I had with it. I've told my story about No Man's Sky multiple times. I'm not going to rehash it, but I love that they're still going with this thing, man. Yo, what's up, Mike Oxsmall1? Welcome to the stream, my friend. We're just watching this No Man's Sky trailer. I got Mike Oxsmall1. Yep. It is. I was just excited to have somebody in here. This is No Man's Sky. This is the next update for it. You can ride some of the animals now. It's pretty dope. See? They're riding these crabs. The game has come a really long way, and it's awesome to see that, like, look, they could have taken their lumps, released the shit that they released, taken the shit that they did, and then, you know, just slid into obscurity. But they decided to hunker down and make this game great, and it's a testament to how much they believed in the concept, how passionate they were about realizing that concept, and also how kind of far the ball rolled down the hill and got away from them in the lead up to this game, that they realized, like, oh shit, we're promising a lot of things that we can't deliver on now, but we're going to take the next 3 years to make it right. If I still had my VR headset, I'd be all over this, because VR for that game seems just fucking dope. Mike says that he likes the booties in this game. Hey man, go drop that. Is that game still $60 on PlayStation? I think it's cheaper. I think it's like $30. It's still $60 on PC. But yeah, so that's August 14th. That's free. And it's awesome. I mean, and we've seen this kind of trend with other games as well, where people have really stuck to it. You think about like Diablo 3 and the state that it released in, and how people didn't like it, and now it's a hugely popular game. Same thing with like Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege released, had all kinds of problems. Ubisoft hunkered down and really put the nose to the grindstone, made that game better. And No Man's Sky, and I think that I'm hoping that, not that it becomes the trend, right? I want games to release and be good when they come out, but that it becomes a trend when games come out and they do fall flat, that they're not just abandoned. And what they've done with No Man's Sky also opens them up to the possibility of being trusted again to make another game whenever they're done updating this one, which may be never. Who knows? Last story, guys. I just want to fawn over this this Gears console. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Big fan of all special edition consoles. Love them. Also, Mike, thank you so much for the follow. I don't know if my alerts are... Let me fix something. This happens every time after PvA radio. I've still got my professional that doesn't make sounds on. We'll give you a proper welcome over here, Mike, which is what we will now call you. All right, we've updated it. Let's replay this.
Hey, go download me a hoagie off
there
the
internet. There we go. Thank you so much for the follow. And why don't you go download me a hoagie from the internet? All right. Check this out, guys. This like glacial... Oh, can I not? What the hell? All right, we're going to go find an image of this on Google real quick. Gears 5 console. Find a bigger image of that. That's way too small. Almost as small as what I just admitted of mine was very small. This is just a picture of the... Oh, did they release a video to reveal this thing? Well, let's watch this.
There's a place up north. I think we can find you answers there.
You guys excited for this game?
I need to know the truth.
I love Gears. We used to stay up like all night in college just playing Horde mode in Gears 3.
That's a locust symbol.
The special edition controllers they come out with for Gears have been fucking awesome. I love that pop of blue. That's such a good looking console. Put so many hours into Horde mode. We did too, man. It was my addiction in college. I fucking loved Horde mode on Gears. That console looks dope too. If you guys don't remember, the when the Xbox One S came out, when Gears of War 4, they released this console along with... Oh, what just happened? Oh, I clicked on the shopping link. They released this console with like the textured features here on the edges, and then they had an Elite controller. Let's see, Xbox One Elite controller that had the same thing. Yeah, look how awesome this is. Look how fucking cool this controller was, with the like textured claw marks on here. You had like the selector that has the actual Gears weapons on it. It was so cool. What's this? Oh, that's the Sea of Thieves special edition. Xbox does hardware shit right. Outside of the original Xbox One's design, I've loved just about everything that the Xbox One has put out in terms of hardware. And if I was a guy who was in the market for an Xbox One X, I would certainly get that new Gears 5 console. Looks dope. Love the glacial theme. Looks really, really cool. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the PvA Nightly Rundown for tonight. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're hanging out over on YouTube, stick around. I'm going to be playing some League of Legends. But if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do this every single weeknight other than Wednesdays over here on twitch.tv/PVA Radio at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't catch us live, you can watch us on youtube.com/PVA Radio, where you can either watch the whole show or we break it out topic by topic just so that you can see the ones that you are interested in. Beal for real. Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, until tomorrow night, guys, which is Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. We love you. Goodbye.